What up? Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. My name is Salvador Briggman, and on today's episode, we are getting into an incredible project which has raised over $276,000 on Kickstarter for more than 1,000 backers, and some of the advice that today's creator or entrepreneur or inventor has for other people in the audience who are coming out with new products, who want to ethically dominate and impact the world for the positive. I think we get so many interesting listeners and guests and students when it comes to my videos, when it comes to the podcast, when it comes to people reading my blog, crowdcrux.com, who are really trying to have a much bigger vision than I think they ever imagined was possible. Saying yes to the opportunities, saying yes to life, and stop playing small. And I think today's podcast guest is actually a great example of that. Someone who didn't really consider themselves to necessarily be a business owner, but came up with a really unique solution to a product, to a problem which they themselves experienced, and packaged that into a product and sold that to the world. And now, as a virtue of that, they have the freedom to build their business how they'd like. They can come out with new products if they want to. But just that being willing to show up and whatever that means for you, be prepared and launch something into the universe and see the effect that it has can be such an extremely powerful experience. So we try to document that. I try to document that, at least I have since 2015 on this show, with many different types of success stories. Go back into the archives of the show and listen to them. You'll hear from people that are doing physical products, tabletops, card games, publishing products, videos, films, equity crowdfunding, investment raises. And my goal is that you walk away, whether you're listening to this in the car or you're listening to this on the way to work, or maybe you're even jogging or going to the gym. You made it to the gym, right? And you're trying to get a little bit of a workout in. I want you to walk away from this episode knowing this is possible, knowing that anyone can do this, and the only thing that's holding you back from where you are right now and where you want to be is getting access to the right education, information, but also just being willing to be resilient, get something out there, and take a risk, to be willing to actually push through those pain barriers, right, in order to do that. So we talk about a lot about that on this show. And if you really want to learn more of the tactical side, the step-by-step, the know-how when it comes to launching a successful Kickstarter campaign, putting together a great video that converts strangers into backers, reward tiers that people can't help but backing, and of course, a marketing and promotion strategy that allows you to get tons of eyeballs on your actual page when you go live. Go and check out my free course on Kickstarter at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter. The link for that is crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter. crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter will take you there, and you can join my free course. I never actually imagined that I would be a teacher or that I would have written a book like my book, The Kickstarter Launch Formula. When I was growing up, I hated school. I thought it was so not practical. It wasn't teaching me anything when it comes to the goals and things that I was interested in. But what I realized is that sometimes in life, actually learning the way that other people have been successful can be a straighter path to success. So if you want to invest in yourself, your mind, your skill set, your education, go and check out my book, which I've come out with, called The Kickstarter Launch Formula. This book is available on Audible for anyone to check out, and also on Amazon if you want a paperback version or an ebook version. And cool facts, we're actually coming out with a hard copy as well. So you'll be able to check out The Kickstarter Launch Formula and get a hard copy if you do want to get that kind of nice looking feel and that binding. It's definitely cool to have that as like a memento when you do have a successful Kickstarter campaign. So go and check that out at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio to get the Audible version, or crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter formula will take you to the paperback and also the hard copy version. That being said, I want to get into today's interview and really discover what this creator, this inventor, was able to pull together, how they were able to raise over $276,000 from more than 1,000 backers, and also some of the advice, takeaways, and techniques that they would like to share with you on today's podcast. And it's coming up right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. Today we're speaking with a creator and a listener who has raised over $276,000 on Kickstarter, more than 1,100 backers to take your photography above and beyond a camera trigger packed with high-speed wireless flash control, time-lapse, HDR, AI suggestion, geotag, file manager, and more. And we're lucky enough to have the creator here today. Nazmus, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Al. Thanks for having me.
Definitely, man. So I hear you are also a listener. That is so cool that you coming on the show now as a guest.
Yeah, really, really, I'm happy to be here. I listened few of the episode before. I can still remember like Nomadic, Volterman, Big Design, and few more. Very
Yeah.
useful and really, really, it helps.
So tell us more about you. Tell us more about your product, what you've created here. First of all, maybe you can share some more insights into what you've made, and then a little bit about you.
Yeah, sure. I'm Nazmus. I'm from Bangladesh actually, and my background is electrical and electronics engineering, and also I do photography as a hobby, mainly time lapsing. So the idea starts actually a few years back when I started developing a time lapse controller device for my own use, and later on I think that yeah, it can be a finished product and we can bring it to the market, and Kickstarter is the way to go. Then the idea changed and now we are here after launching our campaign. So yeah, so basically it started as a personal hobby device, and then it turned into Comet right now.
And is this the first product that you have brought to market?
Yeah, as my startup, it's first, but as my background is in electrical and electronic engineering, so I work as freelancer with many clients before, and I know like electronic system design, how to do manufacturing from China. So this area is a little bit known to me, which helps to give me the confidence. And yeah, that's it.
And when it comes to this specific product, how long were you working on it before you brought it to Kickstarter?
Well, it's actually quite a long time, more than 3 years actually.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. You've definitely been hitting the grindstone. Yeah.
It's really hard, Sal. To be frank, project is one thing and product is another thing. Okay, there's north pole, south pole difference. So project can be anything. It can be big, it can be not power efficient, but when we wanted to bring it to the market, to a customer's hand, then a lot of minor detail we need to consider. So which really takes time. So like 80% job can be done easily, but the rest 20% is really hard, which takes a lot of time.
So I have a lot of topics that I'd like to get into, but I guess first, my first question for you is kind of more on the creation side, which is when you're going about there creating a product, does it start as easy as an idea? Does this come as like a sketch on a napkin? How does this idea begin to start for you?
Well, the idea actually evolved a lot. Like, as I said, it was initially focused on time lapse. Actually, let me tell you a little bit more about the background. My initial plan was to make a motion control system, which is a slider, this kind of thing for time-lapse photography. And I started working on that, but that's more mechanical thing rather than electronics. So then I found that it's getting very hard for me. It's a big thing. The manufacturing, the moldings, things will be really difficult as it's more mechanical area. Then I segment the project and just take the camera controlling part for time lapsing. So the idea was I will work only on time lapse, but later on I found that why not integrating high speed? Why not integrating file manager? Why not Flash? So it gets big and big. Okay, so that's why actually it took a lot of time.
So yeah, the scope of the project is growing and growing, right?
Exactly.
And you're hacking away at it and you're growing. Do you have different prototypes that you're trying out? Like how does that look, that stage of the...
Yeah, right. We made several prototypes, but to be honest, the first prototype it's almost close to the right now how it looks like, because we started developing using the development kits, this kind of thing. You can see some of the pictures of our early stage prototype in our campaign page.
Okay, very cool. And from where you are located in your area of the world, is crowdfunding popular, or is this sort of like a new thing or not heard of?
Yeah, I'm far away. It's Bangladesh. So here actually Kickstarter, Indiegogo, this kind of thing, not too much popular, but I figured out that to bring a product into the market without raising a venture capitalist fund, Kickstarter is the only way to go. Also Indiegogo later on. So then I incorporated a company in the US, and against that company, I launched the campaign.
So you mainly wanted to do the campaign to get funding and to really bring it to the next stage. Is that right?
Yeah. Basically, Lumionix is a US-based corporation, and I'm the founder from Bangladesh.
Very cool. Very cool, man. So in kind of preparing for this, I'm sure you learned a lot. Were there any really key lessons that stood out in your mind that were important as you were going into your project?
Well, to be honest, there are too many. There are too many learnings. Yeah. First of all, 3 years back when I'm thinking about Kickstarter, the things I know right now, if I knew that before, maybe I didn't go this path. Okay. The path is really hard, to be honest.
Yeah.
But definitely it's doable and it's great. Everything is right, but it's hard. That's also true.
So make sure you are prepared, make sure you're willing to hustle, hard work, right? And you really have to have the passion, it sounds like, for the product.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely right. And in terms of marketing, actually, I learned a lot also from your podcast as well. There are many marketing channels, all need to be triggered in the same way. Otherwise, the raise amount will not be that high. Everybody wants to raise 7-figure, including me, but that's also a big challenge. Okay, because when we started the lead generation, then I found that no, things not going according to the plan. The CPL is not that good. It's getting high when we are raising the budget for the ad spend. So these things are new learning to me, which I didn't realize when I study crowdfunding marketing, this kind of thing. So this is about marketing and development, electronics, product development. That is another area. So no compromise on that. Before launching the campaign, must need to make sure the prototype is as much as close to the final product as much as possible. No need to do the molding or certification. That's fine, but development needs to be done as much as possible. Otherwise, it will be really hard.
Got it. One of the other things I noticed in looking at your campaign, first of all, the product looks really cool, great photography, great icons and graphics, all that. You have a lot of great reviews as well. You know, people that are singing your praises. You got some awesome media mentions. Do you have any thoughts on that element of getting reviews? And I think that's kind of like a mysterious component for many people.
True. Actually, I already covered. The key point is you need to complete the development as much as possible so that you can build the review unit. MVP is not enough. You need to make MVP plus or at least 80% working. So you can send it to the press or YouTubers so they can get it on the hand and make some nice video. So that's the keystroke. So if you can make the sample units like 10, 15 units, then there is high chance you can get some coverage, some YouTubers.
Is this something where you can just like email a YouTuber, or do you reach out to them on social media? How do you make contact and convince them to do a story on you?
That's a great question too. It's also learning. Yeah, I personally pitched a lot of YouTubers. Also, a marketing agency worked with me. They also pitched, but my personal, I did when I did the pitch, the response rate is very low because all the YouTubers are very busy. That's fine. So yeah, few response I got, and then discuss with them, wanted to offer them a free sample and have an honest review. Then this is the way that thing works.
So when you talk about low response rate, I think this is actually a really important point. You know, if you're reaching out to like 100 people, how many people do you think an average person should expect to get a reply from?
Yeah, actually, I personally contacted more than 100, maybe 10%. 10% is actually good, but also there are limitations. Like if you wanted to get some free reviews, then actually the thing will be lower because many YouTubers don't want to work with a free review, just exchange of a sample unit. So the response is compared to this really low.
Okay, so be willing to persist and, you know, just kind of reach out to people. And are you just introducing yourself? Are you sending them like a media kit, or do you have your website, or how do you build credibility?
Yeah, right. So media kit we have, press kit we made, but for the press, basically we collected a list of journalists, relevant journalists. The list was not so small, maybe around 2,000 journalists. So we did pitch. And our target, as we are a startup, we don't have that marketing budget to get paid media. So our plan was to collect our earned media, so free journalist review. So we did some pitch, we get some coverage. This is how it works. So we need to continuously pitch the journalist, the relevant journalist.
Congratulations on that. It's very challenging to get earned media, and I think it says a lot about your product.
True. And for the also, I like to mention, like, for the first-time creator, it's way more difficult because you don't have that credibility. Maybe after we delivered this first product, when we go to the second campaign, then I hope the things will be much more easier because we already have some contacts with the journalist. We really hope we can collaborate in the future campaign and also get some more coverage then. So first-time campaigner, it's a big challenge. Yeah.
Understood. You know, first of all, you know, you're sharing a lot of great information. I really appreciate that. If you're worried about the fulfillment and shipping part of your Kickstarter campaign when it comes to getting out all those perks and rewards to your backers, rest assured I've put together a complete Kickstarter fulfillment and shipping checklist for you, and it's free. This is sponsored by the folks at Fulfillrite, and they thought that you should have this checklist as part of your arsenal going into a crowdfunding campaign. If you want to get instant access to this checklist and it's free, you can go to fulfillrite.com/checklist. Again, that is fulfillrite.com/checklist, fulfillrite.com/checklist. Just go to that link and you can download it immediately. But one of the other questions I had for you is, you've had a great experience of learning about crowdfunding. Do you feel like there are any myths or any things that are not really talked about that should be talked about when it comes to launching a campaign like this?
Yeah, many information already covered, including your channels have many useful informations. So yeah, but one thing I found, it's covered in some YouTube channels and some online resources, but maybe it need to be covered more detail, that number calculation. It's a key point for crowdfunding, because there are lots of commission, lots of expenses, including production, molding things. So all these commissions and numbers need to be calculated properly. Otherwise, it can be a successful campaign, but not a successful business.
So making sure you're breaking out the spreadsheet and you're calculating your budget.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's so incredibly important. So you can also deliver your products to the backers, right? You can deliver your rewards.
Exactly. Like shipping is a serious thing. There are lots of expenses actually. We also only think that this campaign raised million, this campaign raised $500,000. Great job, definitely great job. But there are lots of expenses. That's true. So 7-figure will not make a startup rich, to be honest. Kickstarter is for just starting. It's not end. So the startup is just starting with this campaign. Yeah.
One question I had for you, and I kind of want to ask this because you're more of an engineer, it sounds like, and an inventor in that way. Do you see yourself as a entrepreneur? Are you trying to grow like a larger business out of this, or was this mainly wanting to see your invention come to life? Like, what was your motivation in really doing this?
Actually, I didn't think detail about this before, but now after launching this campaign, we have planned for second campaign and few products in my mind right now. So definitely we will go on this path. But right now, most important is to deliver successfully this product, a stable product, to the backers and make them happy. So this is the first goal. And after that, we have planned for several other products. So already started working on that.
Have you ever wanted to be an entrepreneur or a business owner, or has that been like something in the back of your mind that you could one day start your own company?
No, actually, I didn't have that plan before. So I work as an engineer and freelancer. So this startup mind came later on.
Got it. And I think that's incredible. Even with just focusing on the product, being able to get super far. I mean, it's so challenging to launch a campaign, and you guys have done a 6-figure one. And I'm sure there's going to be a ton more demand as well, in the future when it comes to that.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Right, retail is another scope. So,
what has been the most enjoyable part of this experience for you?
To me, actually, the electronics development, because I'm passionate about that. Also, it's a photography thing. So testing on that on field, that's most enjoyable things for me.
When you talk about this with other people in your life in Bangladesh or your friends, your family, how do they react to what's been happening here?
Yeah, friends and family always supporting. It's a must. Everybody supports. So I discuss with my friends. So they supported in some points, and they also indicate me, these things I'm not doing right. They tried to guide me, so that helps a lot. Yeah, so need to share your idea to make as much as people possible. So get their feedback. That will definitely help.
What did it feel like when you woke up and you looked at your campaign and you had gotten to like the 200K mark? What did that feel like for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's felt great. Yeah.
Is that a sense of like excitement, or is that worry? Oh my gosh, now I have to fulfill all of these, right? And I have to ship these out.
Worry is a continuous thing. So definitely need to be, but also excitement was there. But to be honest, for the day one, I was not happy because I was expecting more raise for the day one, but we raised like 50K. That's a great fund too, but expectation was a bit more. So the conversion didn't went that well.
Got it. So you basically would say, in making sure to manage your expectations, but even though you maybe didn't hit your goal there initially, you were able to get to where you want to go, at least right now.
Yes. Expectation need to be realistic.
Very cool. Very cool. In thinking about this process and, this idea of running more and more campaigns, is there anything that you would pass on to like a first time creator, someone who this is their first time doing their project? Would there be any techniques or advice you would share with them on this?
I think I already basically I noted 3 points which I wanted to tell. I think I already covered that, but still summarizing that again, that knowing the numbers is very important. Budget calculation in the spreadsheet, each and every detail. If you wanted to use a bubble wrap, you need to consider that cost. So all the small cost can be a big cost later on in mass production. So numbers is the key thing. Then expectation need to be realistic.
Making sure to manage that.
Right. So for example, as I said, everyone wants to, it can be $1 million campaign. The preparation can be like that, but things didn't work that well. So need to consider that. And the prototype need to be ready as much as possible, close to the working unit to prepare the samples for press and some YouTubers. So these 3 things, I think, very important.
If you had to think about a pie chart or rank them in order of importance, you have your Kickstarter backers, the community itself, you have press, you have ads, you have emails. What do you feel like was the most important for you of that entire list in terms of contributing funding to you?
Lead generation pre-launch is super important. If you don't have that initial momentum, then the campaign didn't go that well. So need to have a strong pre-launch for sure. No compromise on that.
Well said.
And after that, many campaigns didn't work on. When I talked with some founders, they didn't get any YouTubers, they didn't get any press. Some organic press normally came, but still pre-launch is a must. There is no campaign didn't work on pre-launch but did well. I think there is no. So pre-launch is the top priority.
Well said. And I think that's definitely a huge element and definitely something very important to focus on. I had one question for you more so on the mindset side. And I think it's because you have many different types of creators, people from Bangladesh, you have people from UK, from China, from United States, all over, but we all kind of have a similar mindset when it comes to, business. Do you feel like there are any mindsets or traits that really led to you being more successful? For example, other people have said ambition, other people have said the need to persevere. Do you feel like there are any traits or mindsets or habits that have really allowed you to be successful?
Yeah, it's a matter of strong dedication actually, because sticking into one goal for 3 years, it's really hard.
Most people can't do that.
Yeah, maintaining family, everything. It's really challenging. So continuously work 3 years, 4 years. 3 years is actually, I would say it's small for a small team, a new team for making a complete product. It might take more. So dedication is super important.
Where do you fit in the time for that? You have your normal job. How do you, fit that into your life?
Well, I had job before, but I left the job. Then working full time on this project, and also I do freelancing. But I limited the freelancing as well to manage more time for this crowdfunding product development. So there are a lot of compromise to be honest.
These team members that you're working with, how do you find people like that you resonate with, that share your values? Are these friends? Are they, how did you meet these people?
Yeah, great question. Actually, all the developers working on this project, freelancers. Basically, I there is a site called Upwork. I also work as a freelancer on Upwork before. So I hired some talented guy there, and also some local team member from Bangladesh working on me. But the main development engineers, like the mechanical guy the software guy I hired from Upwork. Say, for example, in this 3-year of timeline of the development, we changed 3 mechanical engineers. The enclosure designing started with one, then he left, then another one took, and finally a Chinese engineer named Sky completed that. He did a great job. His picture is on our profile right now. So it's a long journey. So developer can switch. So we need to manage that as well. So most of the developers, actually, I work from freelancers, Upwork, this kind of thing.
Very cool. Appreciate you sharing that. And yeah, that's great to hear that you've been able to attract some people that, you find to be a good fit and continue to move with that. Where can people go to learn more about your campaign, about what you've been doing here, what you've been able to share with the world?
Yeah, absolutely. Our campaign page have all the information about the project, also the comments page, update page, and also our website, www.lumionix.com. We have also Facebook page and group. We are continuously posting updates there. So feel free to connect there.
Okay. It's a bit of a complicated word. So for those that are listening, it's LUMIONIX.com.
Yeah, Lumionix.
Okay. And I just have one final question for you, my friend, and that's, if you have, and we can end on this note, if you have a final quote that you like, if you've been given a bit of advice that has resonated in your life, or a final word of encouragement for other creators out there in the audience when it comes to what they're working on.
Yeah. So again, I would say the numbers is the important thing, and expectation, and please complete the development as much as possible. Otherwise it will be a big challenge afterwards. So these things actually I would like to say again.
Well said. Well said. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, for being a listener and a success story. Wish you so much success in the future as well. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sal.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. My name is Salvador Briggman, and one of the things that I love to do, one of my passions, is to demystify complicated, mysterious subjects for you, so that you can take action, so that you can actually get something out there that's going to impact people for the positive, to have that higher purpose, to do good in the world, and to ethically dominate the world with an epic brand coming out with something new, be that a physical product, a gadget, a gizmo, something even more artistic related. It could be a coffee table book or a film or even a music project. I really love to talk a lot about that on this show, and I hope that in specifically today's episode, you took away some nuggets of crowdfunding gold that you can use to be proud of the work that you put out there with your campaign, to take control of this area of your life for once, and to have a much bigger, brighter, stronger, more rich, more full future going into this upcoming crowdfunding campaign. I think that some of these desires we all have, whether that's freedom in our life, financial independence, or just the being ability to, call your shots and have your art or have your creativity impact the world. Sometimes we have people that tell us we have crazy ideas, and ironically, sometimes they're the smartest people in our life. But if you know that you got something that you think that is very unique, if you think that you have an idea or project which is worth its weight in gold, something that you need to get out there, stop, my friends, holding yourself back, because I'm telling you, listening to some of these episodes is really going to share with you so many of the advice of other people that have come before you who have felt the exact same way. So when I was younger, my uncle was actually a really big figure in my life. He was a priest. He was one of the smartest people that I've ever met in my life. Just a really smart guy. And he was always challenging me to different board games, and he was very competitive. And I loved to play chess with him when I was younger, around Christmas time. And we would always play chess, and he would always beat me. He beats the little kid, right? But he would always beat me. He would never let me win. And it was so frustrating. Every single year, I would just lose to him, and he could just process the game in a way that I never could. He was just such a smart guy, right? So one year, I finally got fed up, and I decided that I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure out this game. And I can't figure it myself out. I'm not a good puzzle master. I'm not good at figuring out, complicated puzzles myself. So what I did was I read a book on chess strategy. And a book on chess strategy tells you the ways that other people have figured out to be successful with the game of chess. So I started to learn about different moves and combinations and how to actually have a winning game that I can play. And the next time I played my uncle at chess, lo and behold, I beat him. And I think it was one of the most surprising, experiences of his life, because I was whipping out all of these really complicated moves and able to win very quickly when before I could barely, struggle by with my game. And from that lesson, what I really learned is that a lot of the things that we want in life are just in the heads of other people. That if you want to get better when it comes to crowdfunding, when it comes to launching a business, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to getting the things you want out of life, a lot of the times you can just learn from the success stories of other people. And that's why I started this podcast in 2015, is to deliver you that experience, to put a high emphasis on education. And what I learned from that is that I can compete with the best out there, and I don't necessarily have to invent everything. You can just walk a path that has already been paved in front of you and get to the destination that you want to go. Now, when you are walking that path, every once in a while, it is nice to have a guide. Let's be honest. If you're going on a hiking trail, yes, there is a trail there already, and you can read the map and you can read books about wilderness hiking, right? But sometimes it's just really nice to have a guide when you're out there on the trail. And I kind of think the same is true when it comes to crowdfunding. This is such a mysterious game. There's so many different moving pieces. It can be quite confusing. Making the wrong decision can be quite easy as well. There are lots of pitfalls. And one of the things I want to do is make myself available to my community. And the way I've chosen to do that is with individual intensive coaching calls. So this is really for people that are looking to get serious about launching a campaign, whether it's their first day and they've just been thinking about that, or even wondering if crowdfunding is a good fit for them, if they want to just skip to the finish line and figure out that answer. It's for people that are been following me for a couple of months or a couple of years, that have been preparing, or they want to make sure that they put all the finishing touches on their campaign before they go live so they can smash through their goal and they can make sure that they impact the world to the utmost and really reach their full potential as a creator or as an entrepreneur. I think that having a coach can be a little bit daunting, but the great thing about this is that all you got to do is fill out a little bit of information. Tell me about you. Tell me about your project. Tell me about what you're going for. And I've done so many of these calls. I've done thousands of coaching calls, have thousands of coaching students over the years. And I can tell you that there are so many tricks, techniques, secrets that are not available out there online, or that people don't tell you, that are unique to your product, that I can share with you to give you a rapid success formula to get you from point A to point B faster. And again, it's not anything that I've necessarily invented, but it's things that I've seen that have worked, whether that's with my clients, with my students, with podcast guests, with what I see working right now when it comes to Kickstarter, and I can share that exactly with you. So if you're interested in booking an individual intensive coaching call with me, you're ready to invest in yourself a little bit, and you want to get that ROI to make sure you have a strong foundation for your launch, your campaign, and you want to make sure you do it right, go and check out the link I'm about to mention at crowdcrux.com/coaching. That link is crowdcrux.com/coaching. Crowdcrux.com/coaching will take you there, and you can book an individual one-on-one coaching call with me. Thank you so much, man. My name is Salvador Briggman, hailing in from Miami, Florida, the beautiful Sunshine State. Wherever you are, I hope that you work hard toward your goals this week, and I'll see you next time.